Today, I am joined by Maggie Kruse, who works for Jordan Winery, and we represent in our restaurants a number of their wines, including the Cabernet Sauvignon, which we have in a lot of different places. So, Maggie, if you could tell us a little bit about Jordan and where the winery is located, what's kind of special about that setting, and then we'll talk about Cabernet.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. So we are a family-owned winery here at Jordan Winery. We were founded in 1972 in the Alexander Valley, which is located in Sonoma County. And we were founded by Tom and Sally Jordan. And Tom and Sally were Francophiles. They loved everything French. If you come to the winery, you'll see it's modeled after a French chateau. We have the chef and culinary staff here making beautiful French cuisine and everything, even down to our landscaping, is very French-inspired. So it's no surprise that we make our Cabernet in a very Bordeaux style of Cabernet. All of our fruit is coming from the Alexander Valley, which is where the winery was located. And it's really a Bordeaux blend. So of course it says Cabernet Sauvignon on the label, but we have usually about 20% Merlot in there, a little Petit Verdot, some Malbec, and then on occasion, depends on the vintage, I'm talking a smattering, just a very tiny, small amount of Cabernet Franc. But it's always a approachable blend just to kind of find out the tannins and really make a very balanced wine. And that's really what we've been about. We're about consistency from the very first vintage in '76. You know that you're going to wait when you order a bottle of Jordan. It's always going to be lower in alcohol. Every single vintage has been under 14%, which is pretty surprising that it's pretty low.
Definitely.
We like bright acidity. We want the wines to age well. And so we find our theory is balanced wines age best. Right. So between the Cabernet blend and low acidity, low alcohol, with our current vintage, which is out right now, is the 2015. It's the first vintage that we are 100% French oak. Previous to that, we were always a combination, usually 2/3 French, 1/3 American. And we just found that our fruit sourcing had gotten even better, and the French oak was more amenable to our style. So that's something exciting and new for us.
So how long does the wine spend aging in oak? And do you age the different varietals separately, or do you blend first?
We actually blend first, and then they'll be aged in French oak for about 12 or 14 months, depending on the vintage.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to backtrack a second. You guys are located in Alexander Valley, and that's where the estate is. I've been to the estate. It's beautiful. The rolling hills right around the estate, covered with vines. Tell us a little bit about Alexander Valley and that part of Sonoma, and why Cabernet grows there, because a lot of times, and you guys grow Chardonnay too in the Russian River, which is a little cooler, but tell us why Alexander Valley specific is so great for Cabernet.
It's really about the climate, and we have beautiful warm weather here. The valley fills up with fog from the south to the north. So we most of our vineyards are located in the northern part of Alexander Valley. So the fog burns off a little earlier. So it's really amenable to all that sunlight and warm weather that Cabernet needs in order to balance out.
Right. No, it's definitely, that's kind of what we talk about when we talk about Alexander Valley, because it is that sort of northeast segment of Sonoma that almost touches Napa a little bit and comes close to meeting up there. But it's definitely a little bit warmer, being a little bit interior. But you do have the cross effect with the fog, which is great. We sell the Cabernet in a lot of our restaurants, which we have a lot of different kinds of cuisine. We have seafood styles, we have steakhouses, we have burgers and pizzas. Tell us a little bit of the few favorite things that you like to pair with when enjoying some Jordan Cabernet. What kind of food do you like to eat it with?
Well, it's kind of it's fun because we're in a lot of fine dining restaurants, but then we're also we're pretty much a value brand now, and so you'll find us in all kinds of different places. At the winery here, we have a wood-fired oven, so we do our own pizzas. I think pizza is fantastic with our Cabernet. But then we'll do a formal sit-down dinner in our dining room, which is where I'm located, and we will do duck or pork or any really kind of cuisine. It's really about our balance in oak and balance in there's acidity and low alcohol, which makes our wines really pair well with all kinds of different cuisines.
And super drinkable. We also sometimes list back vintages, because you guys do have a good library release. Right. So if I'm a server, maybe making a recommendation with a guest who's got some options of Jordan Cabernet that might be, you say current vintage is 15 right now, so that's almost 5 years old. But maybe I've got a 10-year-old bottle of Jordan Cabernet that I'm considering. What might be, in general terms, the evolution of that kind of Cabernet versus a brand new release? What might the style, how's it going to evolve a little bit and change, you know?
Well, to be honest, personally, in my palate, I love that 10 to 12 year range. So that's kind of my sweet spot for our wines. It's just really nicely balanced. There's still a lot of fresh fruit. You're going to get that black cherry, blackberry that the Alexander Valley is known for, but it's going to have a little bit more smoothness and finesse on the palate because the tannins have had some time to kind of mellow out. So it's really just going to kind of be a seamless wine from start to finish.
Nice. Yeah. All right, cool. So just a couple bullet points on Jordan Cabernet. I think you nailed a bunch of them. You got a great brand, been around 40 years, more than 40 years, and people definitely recognize it. So it's something that I think there's a lot of consumer engagement, obviously, with that, and people are willing to buy Jordan Cabernet because they're familiar with it. I think the style, whether it's that fruit content or the aging in the oak, as well as the moderation of alcohol that you guys have always worked for, creating a balanced style, and then pairability with a lot of different kinds of cuisine. And if you happen to have a little bit older bottle of wine, it gets even better. So some good stuff from Jordan Cabernet. Appreciate it. Any last thoughts?
No, that's it. You nailed it, Brian. Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. Appreciate it.
Bye.